This channel is supported by my online fishing courses, and you can learn more and get significant discounts at saltstrong.com/Skinner. I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. All right, well, what a morning. Yeah, real flat. Everything's on the table here. It could be albies. I've got crabs for blackfish. There should be sea bass. It could be stripers. Yep, so we'll figure out something. If something doesn't work, I'll do something else, so we'll see. All right, going to start off, I guess you can call snap jigging in 60 to 65 feet of water. Just a 1 ounce jig is going to do it. And I've got 10-pound white line so I can see it. It's nice and thin. It will help me fish these deeper waters. The current is just getting moving. It's like about a half a mile an hour. It's going to get up to about 2 miles an hour. And yeah, whatever wants to hit here, although I want to get some nice sea bass out of this. And the important thing is to detect when that jig taps the bottom. As soon as it hits, just snap it, do it again. Keep an eye on the line. When a fish hits, you'll see the line twitch, or maybe, in that case, it stops short. All right, you see it's just a plain bucktail. There's no bait on there. There's no trailer. These are actually S&S John Skinner Gulf Series bucktails. I had Stanley at S&S make these for me. For snook fishing, they have barbed collars that I could use for a gulp grub, which is how I use them in Florida for the snook. But yeah, I do not need the gulp grub here, just the jig. In fact, the gulp grub would mess this up because it would slow the sink rate of the lure. You really need that nice bear jig, gets down there with less resistance, gets to the bottom faster, else I'd have to use a heavier weight. Now if I wanted to use a trailer, I could use like a 4-inch thin strip, like a ottertail bait strip or a fat cow jig strip. That does work, but right now, yep, just a plain jig works fine. Yeah, I happened to look over and see I was on a nice little high spot there with a lot of fish markings, so I just put a mark on that. Yeah, these are real nice sea bass caught this way. You know, if you put squid down, you're going to catch a lot of sea bass. You're going to get a lot of small ones. Doing this or diamond jigging, you definitely would take the larger ones. So the limit here is 15 inches. These are way over that, and I can keep 7. Okay, so let's take a run-up drift so you can see what the drift looks like. I'm starting the back end of the drift where I'm done is like 67 feet of water, and I'm going to run up, go over a hump, and go down the other side, reset the drift. All right, if you look at the fish finder left-hand side, you're going to see I'm starting to come up. I'm going to go up 60 feet, get up to around 58. This point here, yep, I'm just, right now, I'm going over that structure. The water depth will be into the high 50s. That's actually right over where the fish are right now. And I'm going to go beyond that. And when you see that bottom, again, the left-hand side of the fish finder, starting to slope down. Going to go, it looks like 66, 67 feet. Going to shut it down, repeat the drift. And something important here, not just for this fishing, but any kind of drift fishing, put that boat in reverse, stop the boat. Don't put your lines down while the boat is still moving, because then you're going to have trouble making contact with the bottom, especially with a technique like this where it's, you know, a very light jig. It's crucial that you detect the bottom. Okay, a bluefish there which kindly spit the jig for me so I didn't have to grind up the jig trying to get it out of its mouth. And this is a technique that John Paduano often talks about at seminars and stuff. And I have seen quite a few references to it in freshwater for like walleye and things. John often fishes a little bit shallower than this, but for this fishing, this is where the structure is, 60 to 65 feet. So, but it works here too. Just instead of casting, I'm just dropping straight down. All right, the bag limit in New York State currently is 7 fish for these, and I haven't shown all of them. This happens to be the 7th, so I'm going to boat this fish, and then I'm going to move on and do something absolutely completely different. All right, I made quite a move. I had just put the trolling motor spot lock on for blackfishing, but now albies have shown up. They're on the inside of me, so I'm going to just motor in with the trolling motor, be nice and quiet, and try to get a shot at these albies. If you look just to the right, pretty far in, you can just see them gently breaking the surface and not tearing it up, but they're there. There we go. I don't quite have the albie run going yet here. He's going to wake up. Okay. All right, now I am spot locked back on where I want to blackfish, but again, these things are coming through. So these false albacore are actually leaving Long Island Sound, and they're kind of like gently porpoising, just heading east. And you've got to lead the school, drag it right over them, and maybe they'll hit. Yeah, they're quite picky. And as they do, they're swimming fast, so you've got 1, maybe 2 shots at most. Yeah, I don't want to fight this in the current, so I took it off spot lock. I'm just drifting with it now. He's a nice size. Nothing wrong with that. All right, spot locked again. Finally, can Blackfish. Ooh. Wow, first one. It's a good one. Now, first one, definite keeper. Nice. But I'm not keeping any because I got a limit of sea bass and I'd rather eat those. So you're lucky you don't taste as good as a sea bass. Alright. The one thing that's going to be tough though is that damn Albie's going to keep coming by. Gotta be ready to cast a little faster. All right, so get a better look here how these fish are going by. They're just porpoising, and there's a lot of them in the school, but they're being picky. You just got to try to go over them. It's a Deadly Dick #1 metal lure. Just throw out, reel very fast, skip it across the top of the water. Maybe they'll hit. But more often than not, they'll ignore the offering. All right, mostly I'm using green crabs, so I'm also using Asians, and what I'm left with are these really small ones, so I'm putting like 3 on a hook. And, you know, if you watch my videos, you'll see some trips where the Asians just don't work, or the greens will work a little better. Well, I had a trip previously that I didn't put up that, wow, the Asians did so much better than the green crabs. It was amazing, and maybe I'll post that at some point. But yeah, I mean, they are very effective. You see, I just stuffed 3 tiny ones on that jig, and it won't take long. Okay. Come on. That was good timing. All right. Break from the Blackfish here. Be good if I float, huh? didn't take long. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of those Asian shore crabs. So I've got some small greens in here, and I'll just like cut the fronts off and put the whole green crab on. Cut the claws and just the front of the head, you know, it's enough to open it up and get the juices going, and put that down. Yeah, on this trip there's a lot of interference fish down there. You put down, and boy, those rigs are getting cleaned right off. And you're gonna get to see exactly what's going on there in a minute or so. All right, so you can get a lot of little taps. You can't swing at those. You have to wait until the jig starts moving away. Then set the hook. Oh, finally a decent one. Whole crab. Oh yeah. That's a nice one. All right, gonna try another whole crab, I guess. All right, consider this a teaser for an upcoming video that I'll post in a few days. That yellow thing is a drone. It has a tethered camera. It has antenna on it to communicate with my cell phone. So as I drop the jig, I can look at the phone. I know you can't see it there, but I'm watching the action live. This is so cool. And this is what I'm seeing. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of this because I've got an incredible amount of really great video. There's the jig. It goes down. And this is what happens. This is great. And I've got about 25 jig drops like this where I get to watch the whole thing. I've tried so hard to get this video. I finally have it. It's so cool. So I'm going to post that in a couple days. But this is why you drop down. There goes a blackfish. He moved away with it. I set the hook. I got him. Yeah, obviously I'm really excited about it. And yeah, and we're even going to get to see this fish that I'm going to catch here. We're going to get to see it down there underwater before I catch it. Ooh. That one. I don't know what you'll click underwater, but look okay up here. Okay, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, and check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner.